Well, sir, you were asking me to say something about the relation between space and matter. When we look out at the physical universe, we see matter. We are all in touch with matter continually. We see it in the whole world is made of it. And when we look out into the sky, we see certain other particles of matter which are luminous and therefore visible. But when we begin to reckon how much matter there is in the universe, we find that it is a very small amount compared with the vastness of space. The most important thing in the universe, you may say, is empty space. We call it empty because it hasn't got any matter in it. It's what we call vacuum. It isn't really empty. Because discoveries of the last few years, Einstein and all that, have shown that space has physical properties. Faraday began to discover that space was the important thing. We used to attend, before his time, to the conductors on which electric charges were. He said, don't look at the conductors, look at the space between the conductors. That's where everything is happening. And that is where we find it is happening. Before the time of Newton, people looked at the planets and studied their motion, studied the motion of the stars or anything else that they could find moving. Newton said, well, this is all due to something that goes on between the stars, gravitation. And that has been rubbed in still more now. Electricity, magnetism, light, gravitation are all affairs of the ether, or empty space. That is to say, of this, whatever it is that fills space. We don't know much about it. We know that it's of enormous extent, and that matter, the atoms of matter, are only specks in it, here and there. Few and far between. The great bulk of the physical universe is empty space, or ether, or whatever we choose to call it. And all the real phenomena go on there. Matter is the index of those phenomena. When you look at a galvanometer needle deflecting, you say that's an electric current. What isn't an electric current? It's a sign or index of an electric current. An electric current is nothing like the deflection of a needle. But you detect and measure the current by that means. Same when you look at a thermometer going up, the mercury going up, you say that's a rise of temperature. It isn't a rise of temperature, it's a rise of mercury. Swelling of the mercury, but it's an index of temperature. And so when you come to think of it, all the things that we see in matter are only the index, the sign, the manifestation of something that is really going on in space. Take one take a magnet. A piece of iron jumps to the magnet. And you say that's a magnetic field. Well, they say it's the sign or index of a magnetic field. What is a magnetic field? Well, we don't know. It is something in space, in vacuum. The air has nothing to do with it. All that the iron does is to demonstrate that it's there. You might say the same of a dropped body, when a body falls to the earth. Or just imagine a block of stone hanging from a crane. You say it's dangerous. Well, it's dangerous. Why? The stone is just like any other stone. There's nothing dangerous about the stone. It isn't explosive. No, it's its position. There is something under strain. There is something pushing it down to the earth. And it is the energy, all the danger is in that empty space which is pushing the stone down, like the magnetism is pushing the iron toward the magnet. Well, let's consider some of the other properties of space. One thing that has been familiar a long time is that it can be thrown into vibration, a tremor. When you bask in the sun or sit in front of a fire, you are feeling the vibrations of empty space. You may say that when you sit in front of a fire that you're feeling the hot air, but you're not. The air may be quite cool. The radiation or radiant heat from the fire has come across vacuum. The air has nothing to do with it. The air is an obstruction. When you sit and bask in the sunshine has come to us across 92 million miles of empty space, which is a quiver transmitted across that. So that's the first thing we knew about space, that it could transmit vibrations at a definite time. It takes 8 minutes on the journey. There must be something vibrating or quivering. We feel the quiver in our skin. Again, matter is displaying what is already in space. Unless that light fell upon matter, we shouldn't know about it. It is when the light falls upon the leaves of trees, it produces chemical action. When it falls upon a photographic plate, it produces an impression. When it falls upon the eye, it produces vision. It must encounter matter in order to do anything. It is matter that we are always dependent upon for our information. And so we get gradually into the idea, I suppose, habit of considering matter as the most important thing there is, and forget that there's anything else, because it is the only thing that appeals to our present senses. We have inherited our senses from the animals. They only know about matter, and we, if we don't reason and if we don't think, we only know about matter. But when we reason and think, we find that matter is a sign or manifestation of something else. And so I would have you, when you look at a live animal or anything of that sort, or at the brain, or anything, to think of that matter as an index, a sign, a manifestation of something that really exists elsewhere, something that we don't fully understand. We must not confuse the index or sign of a thing with the thing itself. You might say that it is the mode of producing. The brain is the mode of producing thought. No, that wouldn't be correct. It is the mode of manifesting thought. Same as a violin is the mode of producing, no, not producing, but manifesting, displaying music. The violin doesn't compose any music. Same as the brain doesn't really think, but it can display the result of thought. It can move the muscles and cause speech and writing and that sort. A material action follows from thought through the organism which is utilized. And we find that that runs through all physical science. And I would include among the things that are probably connected with the ether or with space, even life and mind. At present, we imagine that they have to exist on lumps of matter. Their material mechanism does certainly inhabit lumps of matter. And unless it interacts with matter, we don't know about it. But I'm not at all sure that matter is essential to the reality of the thing itself. It comes into contact with matter, it interacts with matter for a time, and then apparently goes back whence it came. The mystery of life is very considerable, and we haven't solved it. But remember that there is a mystery, as there is in all nature throughout the universe.